Hello everyone, welcome back to Gaming with Shoggoths. We are here in Meerblick Prehistoric Zoo in the Germany Sandbox Park, and this is our last speed build of the park. This is the last area that needs to be filled in, and then after that we will have a completed park, and I will probably do a full tour of the place here soon after. This enclosure is going to be for some Pachycephalosaurus, Dracorex, and Stygimoloch. So kind of a mix of our big fat heads, as they are sometimes called in the franchise. I don't know why, but the paths were just giving me such a problem today, or not today, but when I did this, it was just, they kept having little lumps in them, and not because the land was not flat, so I don't know what was going on. I've seen so many people say that the paths are so much better in this game, and I will say that making circles, especially small ones, is so much better in this game, but I don't feel like the whole path system is an actual improvement. It still drives me insane. In fact, it might drive me more insane. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and watch some speed builds from the original game. But yeah, so I'm just making a little guest area that will eventually be surrounded by fences and rocks, and it's going to look out over this whole area, and not just this enclosure, but since it's going to be towers, and it'll be able to kind of look out over everything. You will see me actually no, I don't think you'll see it. I think I cut it out, but there was a part where, because I'm using the Build Anywhere mod, and I can put the the restaurants and stuff on top of the paths after they've been made. The paths, the restaurants kept attaching to the paths facing the wrong direction and stuff, and I was gonna throw my mouse across the room. But I did finally, it dawned on me that I should put them down first and then put the paths around them, so that way they only attach where I want them to. But I honestly, at this point, right here before I started doing it, I hadn't actually thought about that. I hadn't I hadn't confirmed, in my plans, that I was going to put any buildings in those gray areas. So, it kind of just happened, and I was like, oh god, I should have put the paths down after. But you live and you learn, right? It is sort of weird, I feel like it's weird how some of these buildings do and don't attach to paths, and I get it. The ones that don't are usually the ones that you attach fences to, but I don't know. I don't know. It feels kind of disruptive to me in a way. Not sure if disruptive is the right word, but it's just weird because some buildings will freely go anywhere, and other ones, are always trying to attach to paths. And I honestly just find it annoying that they try and attach to paths. I mean, that's really what it is in the end. Just get some colors going on in here. There's a nice purple. Alright, so what I did here is I put down a fence, and then I'm going to make it invisible. And it'll look like I'm deleting it, but it is invisible. Oh, actually, no, maybe not this fence. Never mind. The next fence I put down is going to be made invisible. This is just the barrier. Parts of this will be made invisible anyways. Yeah. Alright, this area is going to be turned invisible. And I'm going to put rocks down, so it's a rock barricade. Now, the first couple times I showed you guys this, I don't want to say trick, because that's not really a trick. This method of decorating, I didn't need to put a fence down. The dinosaurs wouldn't pass through the rocks. They'd walk up to them and wouldn't pass through them at all. When I have them all bunched up, I'm going to fill these gaps, and I just wanted to put different rocks down for variety's sake. Yeah, at first with this mod, with the Build Anywhere and the rocks not having any collision areas and stuff like that, the dinosaurs wouldn't walk through them. But I don't know, as of the first update 1, that stopped working. I'm not too sure, even after the mod was updated, and I'm not too sure if that's something to do with the game now. The game doesn't recognize rocks as a barrier or what. But so now I highly recommend putting down a fence, making it invisible, and then putting down the rocks like that. I mean, you could also, design it so you could just have the rocks decorating the fence. That would look cool too. And then this is basically, most of the rest of this enclosure, it's just terraforming the land, basically, and just making the area. I wanted to have like a river area and then like a flatter plateau area. And you can see that I forgot to put rocks on part of the pathway, so it kind of looks like, you know, people are just going to walk out into this enclosure with no barrier between them and the dinosaur, but I will fix that eventually. I do really enjoy how much easier certain things move now. Like, I wish the paths did not, like, see right here is a great example. I wish the paths didn't get messed up so much by terrain tools, but I do love like how easily like the monorail will lift, like when you lift the ground underneath it. Like that kind of stuff used to cause like huge problems and your terrain would be everywhere. Or like if you did it around a rock, if you messed with the terrain around a rock, like it would create this like black hole around the rock, and the rock would be down in the ground, but the ground around it would be like up, and it would just create problems. So that kind of stuff, you know, is really cool that that's sort of been fixed now. Like you can use the terrain tool around a rock, and the rock will drop or raise with the ground instead of just sinking into a hole. So that's really nice. That's one of those things where like I noticed it right off the bat, but I didn't necessarily like my brain wasn't like acknowledging it as like a cool thing. You know what I mean? Like, but now I'm like, oh yeah, that's awesome. I haven't had that problem that I used to have, you know, with the other games. So it's all ups and downs. It's gratuitous rock time. Not that it wasn't already with all those rocks around the enclosure, but all right, got our Dracorex. I think of this group, these are probably my faves. And this enclosure and our Pachy's. Chirping. Well, they're not actually chirping, but without sound, that's what it looks like they're chirping. And Styggies. Very stately pace, walking out. Thought about originally doing this as the Pachycephalosaurus and then the Pachyrhinosaurus, just to have it be all Pachy named things, but I didn't think I wanted to do more than 2 creatures, so I decided to just go with some fat heads all around. All right, so this is our final look at the guest area. It's been a fun park to build, although mildly aggravating, just because I had some, you know, mod issues in the beginning that have kind of stunted the park. Like I don't have enough, like guests don't come in and out. I've destroyed and rebuilt my entry points like a million times. I've moved them, and when it wasn't working when I moved them, I've just moved them back to where they originally were. Like I've been trying to fix this glitch with my park only having 50 visitors. I mean, I have like 100 dinosaurs or something in this park, and I have a 0.5-star rating. But I know it's a glitch of the mod, and fortunately, like I haven't had this issue since update 1 and all the mods got updated, so I think it seems like it got fixed. At least I haven't seen it happen again. This is my only park that I have it on. So, you know, fingers crossed. All right, that's going to do it for this episode and pretty much for this park, although we will have one final tour of the whole thing since it has been a while since I began, like 2 months, I think. So yeah, we'll take a look at the whole thing, run through it one more time. As always, I appreciate checking out my video. If you're new, consider subscribing or leave a like or a comment. I always love to hear from you guys. I'll definitely be back with more Jurassic World Evolution 2 in the future. Until then, have a good one.